Tonight, Buffalo Public Schools are also facing some heat over just how they communicated to parents, guardians of students who were at McKinley when all of this happened. 7 News senior reporter Eileen Buckley says those who were gathered outside of the school here last night were begging for information.
Did they say anything about you leaving?
No, not yet.
A McKinley High School father on the phone with his son, who was among the 100 students still inside the school Wednesday night. Mikhail Hall tells me it was a terrifying experience.
I spoke to a teacher that was with him. She was terrified. So I know my son was upset because they said they had to be quiet and they had to wait for the SWAT team to come in there and take care of things. It's nasty.
Hall and other parents say they were extremely upset because the Buffalo School District was not giving them any information. But during this news conference at the scene Wednesday night, District Superintendent Dr. Kreiner Cash responded to those concerns.
We got the message out as soon as we could, as soon as we had cogent details.
But parents did not receive any notifications until this email arrived after 8 Wednesday night, hours after the incident.
What goes through your mind as a Buffalo school parent when you hear something like this and your child now involved waiting inside to be released?
I never thought this could happen.
What? In Buffalo? Now, a lot of you guys who are not familiar with this channel don't know about Buffalo. Now, Buffalo, they just had a transition at mayor. Their last mayor and her husband involved in a wicked drug selling. I'm talking about kilos. Like, the mayor's husband was like Rayful Edmonds or Midget Molly on the streets, man, doing his thing, man. And the mayor, her thing, she didn't know nothing about it. But when you have that type of stuff going on with the mayor, it's a very violent city. Buffalo, Rochester, all that upstate area of New York is extremely hood. So to say you couldn't imagine this happening up there, I don't know, man. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. At this point, I don't even know what to say when these people talk on these. I don't know what to say.
Incident. What goes through your mind as a Buffalo school parent when you hear something like this and your child now involved waiting inside to be released?
I never thought this could happen.
Until they're in your arms and in your house, it's just absolutely gut-wrenching.
District Parent Coordinating Council President Wendy Mistretta says her organization does not have a parent representative from McKinley, which made it difficult to provide support for those families. Having a school rep is part of a district policy that Mistretta says is not working.
There should be 60 schools with representatives that are meeting, and I think 19 schools handed in their leadership forms, and maybe half of those are reps.
This is a moment where folks just want to be heard. They want to be listened to. As a parent of 2 children, I'd want to, express my frustrations.
Okay, sister, man. Gotta tighten up, sister, man. I told you about the mayor up there. This sister, she ain't on top of her job. Come on, sisters, man. They say I be caping for y'all, man. I'm known as a caper. I cape for sisters. I don't go hard enough on y'all, sisters. That's what they say. Now, I know they just mad because I don't blame everything on y'all. But give me something to work with, man, so I can keep caping, man.
Want to be listened to. As a parent of 2 children, I'd want to, express my frustrations.
Late Thursday afternoon, we, the parents of Western New York, hosted a live podcast to discuss the McKinley attack with Dr. Dia Bryant of Education Trust New York.
But I think there's something that the board and Dr. Cash can do in this moment, and they can reassure the community that they're going to sort of be here, that they're going to listen, and they're going to act on behalf of what parents and families need right now.
Eileen Buckley, 7 News.
Report of a shooting at McKinley High School. At 40, also respond. Time 15:48 hours. Buffalo Fire. That's affirmative, Chief. We're approaching McKinley now. PD and AMR on the scene.
Okay, so this is a student that's actually inside McKinley High School right now.
But they just said it was people shooting up the school and somebody got shot.
Our heart just goes out to everybody that got a child that going to school.
We were all just screaming and panicking. We were so scared, and I know I was shaking really bad.
Thank God she's safe and nothing happened to her, and I'm glad she got out.
Yeah, I've been up to this part of New York several times, man. This is what the gliders look like up there, man. Exactly what they look like, man. It's rough up there on gliders, man. None of y'all up there need to be talking about privilege. None of you Sun people. It's some rough-looking gliders up there. I mean, all the brothers, you see the brothers, they on $300 pair of tennis shoes, designer jeans, designer jackets. Brothers look like they just stepped out a video shoot. But the gliders up there, man, whew. Man, they... For real, man, the gliders literally look like they shop at the Goodwill or the thrift store. All of them. Crazy, man.
Thank God she's safe and nothing happened to her, and I'm glad she got out.
Oh, now is not the time to point the fingers. Now is the time for everybody to sit down at the table. You know, our superintendent, our school board, our community leaders, our Buffalo police, and the children.
What's your message for the city?
So, my thoughts and prayers go out to the people that were injured. Certainly want parents to know that we support them, we support their children. We're going to support the school district and make sure that their children going to and coming from school are safe.
This is breaking news from 7 News.
Good morning, Buffalo. We begin your morning with the breaking news that's making national headlines. An attack outside of one local high school. This morning, we know one student was stabbed in the McKinley High School parking lot in Buffalo. A security guard shot in the leg. That 14-year-old student is still in the hospital. The guard treated and released. My co-anchor Ed Dranch is live this morning outside.
So much violence at these schools, man. And it's always the same players. Same identity, man. Doing the violence at these schools, man. This wasn't what we were told, the MSNBC and CNN, man, for the last 20 years, man. We were told it was some glider team, write the manifesto, harboring deep resentment, kids picking on them, finally snap. Nah, bruh. That ain't what's happening at these schools, man. What's happening at these schools is the same thing that's happening in the stand. Constant shooting. I mean, and listen, I've been covering these the last few weeks, but I'm only catching like 5% of it. These schools in and around. Now do you see why the mainstream media stopped covering this stuff? Remember mainstream media, CNN would have been here. MSNBC would have been at this school all day long. Into the night. The kids were still in the school until 8 o'clock. They would have been talking to parents. They'd have flew people out to Buffalo, had people on the ground in Buffalo, you know, playing up the drama and all that stuff. They don't cover this stuff no more because the cat's out the bag. 99% of the time it's the Sun team doing this.
My co-anchor Ed Dranch is live this morning outside of McKinley High School. Ed, breaking down the latest on what happened here and also the search that continues now for who did this. Ed, good morning.
Yeah, and things, Katie, are pretty much back to normal this morning. You'd never know that just 15 hours ago, there was a massive police presence here. The entire area along Elmwood Avenue here at Middlesex in front of McKinley High School was cordoned off. So much of that focus was on the parking lot here, where all of this is said to have happened about 3:45 yesterday afternoon, just after dismissal. There won't be any students here at McKinley High School. Each of those students will be learning remotely today after what was likely a terrifying day for so many of those students. Police say this all started again about 3:45 in the afternoon on the south side of the building, right by the parking lot. A 14-year-old boy stabbed and a security guard shot in the leg. Buffalo police say the student had surgery and is recovering at Oishei Children's Hospital. There were about 100 students at the school, but the suspect still on the run this morning. So we're going to dig deeper into the search for the suspect, where we go from here, and the school community coming together. Coming up in moments, Katie.
All right, Ed, we'll be checking back in with you throughout the morning and looking forward to all of that. You know, our hearts go out to everyone involved in this incident, the students, the parents, the school community. This is a really difficult.
The shooting and the stabbing, according to police, happened outside the school about 20 minutes after dismissal, around 3:45 p.m. They say there was some sort of dispute involving multiple people beforehand. Police say they have no suspect or suspects in custody yet. A group of kids ran towards a student and a fight broke out. I ran towards the fight and told the kids to get back. I heard a gunshot, fell down, and realized I was shot. I told the kids to get out of here. So that was the account from the security guard.
It was nothing. I had left 10 minutes before everything happened. That's the voice of a 15-year-old student at McKinley who wishes to remain anonymous. She's the cousin of the 14-year-old boy who was injured in Wednesday's attack outside the school. The cousin tells me when she left McKinley, her friend saw everything unfold. Everyone's telling me that he has got shot. So at the same time, the police and everyone's saying he got stabbed. My friends were there. They seen what happened. Can you tell me what your friends said? Well, they necessarily just said that it started from a fight, and then someone started shooting and shot the officer and then shot him. They basically say he got shot 5 times, not stabbed though. Despite those witness accounts, police maintain the victim was stabbed. Meantime, the 15-year-old tells me as her cousin recovers, she hopes the city will use this as a wake-up call and increase security. I just feel as though they should have more cops around, especially when we get out of school. More cops than they should. I feel like security needs to go way up. Not too long.
18 months ago, it was get all cops out of schools because somewhere in I think in Florida somewhere, some son's sister was bucking up on a resource officer, and the resource officer tried to get her to go to detention and ended up getting in a tussle, and the girl was trying to fight with the resource officer. So the resource officer just body slammed her and pinned her down. A student took videotape, recorded that, put it online, and it was get rid of all resource officers at all the schools in the country. And everybody was on board with it. That preceded defund the police. That was way before defund the police. Get the cops out of these schools, because that one girl in that one school, and I can't even remember where it was at, got body slammed by an officer only for the color of her skin. Can't make this stuff up, man.
I just feel as though they should have more cops around, especially when we get out of school. More cops than they should. I feel like security needs to go way up.
Not too long ago, a shooting occurred here near the Math, Science, and Technology Preparatory School, and many students are saying that they don't feel safe.
I feel like, again, scared. Like, these things could happen all the time. You never know. And, well, yeah, I'm going to the school. That kind of thing could happen again, and we might be in danger this time.
From what students are telling me, the shooting happened across the street from the school. They didn't see anyone get hurt, but a teacher I spoke with who wishes to remain anonymous says there was no mention of the shooting until what happened at McKinley.
It's brushed under the rug because we're on the east side. We're an east side school. I think some people expect for that to happen because of where we are.
I think some people expect for that to happen because we're on the east side. Who you think living on the east side of Buffalo, man? do 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 do
happen because of where we are, but these are still kids going to school.
I reached out to Buffalo police. They say no one got hurt at MST, and they're looking into the incident. Jocelyn Person, 7 News.
So this is the Math, Science, and Technology School where they had a shoot there. That's on the east side. This is not McKinley High School where the shooting that this whole video is about. It's another school. They clearly say that there was no talk of the shooting at this school on the east side until there was the shooting at the other school. That's why I tell you guys, I can only get... The local news didn't even report on a school shooting in Buffalo because they expect it to happen over there. It's the east side. But, so how do I get it? When the local news doesn't even get it, because it's just what happens, man. It's what they do.
Not too long ago, a shooting occurred here near the Math, Science, and Technology Preparatory School, and many students are saying that they don't feel safe.
I feel like, again, scared. Like, these things could happen all the time. You never know. And, well, yeah, I'm going to the school. That kind of thing could happen again, and we might be in danger this time.
From what students are telling me, the shooting happened across the street from the school. They didn't see anyone get hurt, but a teacher I spoke with who wishes to remain anonymous says there was no mention of the shooting until what happened at McKinley.
It's brushed under the rug because we're on the east side. We're an east side school. I think some people expect for that to happen because of where we are, but these are still kids going to school.
I reached out to Buffalo police. They say no one got hurt at MST, and they're looking into the incident. Jocelyn Person, 7 News, Buffalo.
Parent, I want to bring in now Bishop Michael Badger with Bethesda World Harvest International Church. You are such a pivotal member of our community. What do we need to do in the weeks to come to move past what happened yesterday?
Well, I think our schools have to once again become a place where our children get educated, where math, reading, and those type of things are the foremost things that we're looking at. And for some reason now, our children are not being educated. And I think we all as a community, we're coming out of a pandemic. And so this violence we're seeing all across the nation. But I think as a whole, as a community, we have to wrap our arms around our children and recognize that they need us to be a part of the solution.
What's the cause? You say that our children are not being educated. From your vantage point, what's going on?
I think our superintendent has been disengaged for a long time with the school system. I think this school system is running by itself. And it's running into the ground. I think we're seeing an implosion with our school system. And then you have a board that has not held the superintendent accountable. And so, as a whole, we failed our children.
These are strong criticisms of the board, of the superintendent. I'm sure that they would like to, defend themselves as far as the strides that they have made. Where do you see the biggest failures, as you call them?
Well, most of our children are 3 to 4 grades behind right now because of this pandemic. We've had...
Hold up. Most of our students are 3 to 4 years behind because of the pandemic. How long was the pandemic? Wait a second. I thought it was only one. All right.
Well, most of our children are 3 to 4 grades behind right now because of this pandemic. We've had no after school learning. We've had no extended hours. We've had parent groups that have said that they would be not volunteer, but come into the schools. We got unprecedented money. It's not being utilized by the different nonviolent groups that could come into the school and help to curb some of this violence that is happening. None of that is happening.
Violence interrupters in the schools. This is Buffalo, y'all. A city that many of y'all won't see covered on any other channels on YouTube. Buffalo. They need violence interrupters in the school. They have school shootings that the local media don't even report. Because it's on the east side, man. And, that's just what they do over there. There's no solution, man. I'm sorry, guys. All you can do is do shit like Chappelle, man. Get out of the stand, man. And if they try to bring affordable housing in, no.
Curb some of this violence that is happening. None of that is happening. We've got a problem with our transportation. It seems like our children is last in the thought process as it comes to this educational system. And it's more about the adults and their needs.
Well, some strong words there. Thank you for your honesty and for your candor. We appreciate that. We know that the school board, we interviewed the president of the school board just about an hour ago, and he says that they are going to be doing sort of a postmortem, trying to figure out what they can do to move forward. And I hope that you will be a voice in the room as they try to work on next steps, as you can provide that, voice from the community.
Well, we want to be that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us here on 7 News at 6 o'clock. A lot of conversations still to be had in the days and weeks to come. And of course, we are still thinking about the 14-year-old boy who is recovering tonight after that apparent stab wound, and as well as the security guard who was shot yesterday afternoon here outside of McKinley High School. Jeff, we'll send it back inside to you.